Here's Love. Pressure. Back foot throw. End zone. It is caught for the touchdown. Dontavian Wicks.
Ladies and gents, before we get into this one, 97% of you in the last 28 days that have watched my videos do not subscribe, while just a meager 3% of you do. We got to change that. In order for this channel to get bigger and grow and get better content, we need people to do something as simple as click a button, the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, or merely click on my channel and hit subscribe. It helps ginormously. Oh yeah, we are back here. Kenny C on the ones and twos, all my football fans. It's finally starting to pick up. Summer is usually a slow time for football, but now that we're hearing that teams are getting to training camp, and in the next couple weeks we'll have preseason football, it's going to be back before you know it. Finally, we get some things to discuss here. Some big news on the Packers front. For my Cheesehead fans, RELAX, we're going to lock down our future signal caller in Jordan Love, the 25-year-old phenom. We will lock him down. GM Brian Gutekunst is working on it. He says it should not be long before a deal is struck. Now, here's my thing. Here's my only qualm. The rumors that I've been hearing circulating on social media are that Jordan Love is expected to become the highest paid quarterback in the National Football League. I don't personally think that that should be the case. I don't think that he should match the money that Joe Burrow makes, $55 million a year. I mean, Burrow's gotten to a Super Bowl already now. Obviously, he's had more time under center than Jordan Love has because he's been sitting under Rodgers for the first 5 years of his career. But at the same juncture, guys, he just had his first full season under his belt last year. They didn't start out all that great. Obviously, there's growing pains involved. They started out 2-5, and it took until the Week 9 win against the Rams before the season really started to turn. That win snapped a 4-game losing streak at the time. It snapped a 5-game streak of Jordan Love throwing an interception in each of those games. They lost to the Lions in that skid, the Raiders, the Broncos. It wasn't pretty by any stretch. Then Love picked it up and finished with an outstanding 31 touchdowns to only 11 interceptions with 4,159 yards and led us into the playoffs. These are all great things. Clobbered the Cowboys in the wild card and then held their own against the 49ers. And if they didn't go 2-5 in the red zone, they could have been in the NFC Championship game. But after 1 year, one body of work, I don't think that that means that you go out and pay a guy $56 million a year. I think that if they're going to ink a deal here, I hope that they'd go for more the lower end, maybe 51 million per year for Jordan Love. But at the same juncture, I know where people could go, well, if this team goes to the Super Bowl and wins, who the hell cares about money? And I agree with that. If they go out there in the tenure of Jordan Love's new deal, whatever the price is, if they go out and win a Super Bowl, who the hell cares? It doesn't matter. But I'm just saying that it doesn't really make sense for a guy who just had one season under his belt. The first 8 to 9 weeks were kind of rough. And then at the end of the season, after he exceeds expectations and gets us decently deep into the postseason, we just go out and throw the fat bag and make him the highest paid quarterback in the league. I vehemently disagreed with the Jaguars paying Trevor Lawrence $275 million with $55 million annually. That's an overpay in my mind. I think it would be an immense overpay if they made him the highest quarterback in the league. Now, these are just rumors, but I'm just assessing them in theory. Jordan definitely deserves to be paid. That's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I'm hyped for it. Switching gears to the USA Today, coming out with their projections. What do you know? 2 months ago, I made the same prediction that USA Today recently did, in that the Packers will finish 13-4. And then they also had the New York Jets finishing at 12-5. Imagine that. I think the earth would crumble to pieces if we saw an Aaron Rodgers in a New York Jets uniform versus Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl. That would be the pinnacle of sports. That'd be phenomenal. I hope that that happens. It's kind of cool that USA Today agrees with my prediction of 13-4. They'll leave it all on the field, out on the field when the season starts. But hey, I love it. No pun intended. Now switching gears into the New York Jets here, just briefly, I'll get into this because I know they were just, again, rumors circulating. People like to talk, but as sports fans, and I'd like to consider myself a sports personality, we like to talk about these theories that are thrown out there. Devante Adams with the Oakland Raiders. He said on the Shannon Sharp podcast not long ago, a week or so ago, something like that, that now granted he did say, I'm content as being an Oakland Raider, but the only other guy that I'd play with is Aaron Rodgers. That'd be pretty electric. I know recently on that Receivers show on Netflix, he also reiterated his loyalty to the silver and black, but it could move the needle if the Jets made an offer. If the Jets are truly all in on now your quarterback being 40 years of age, coming off an Achilles injury, you went all in and bringing in Tyron Smith and John Simpson, and you assembled a squad among squads. You got Olu Fashanu in the draft. You went out there and you got Mike Williams. If you're really all in, who's to say they couldn't dish, maybe throwing it out there, Alan Lazard, a first rounder next year, and one of their 2 third-rounders that they have. That to me is not too bad. To get Devante Adams, maybe they require 2 first-round picks, so maybe you give them your 2026 first-rounder. But either way, if you brought Devante Adams into the mix, Jets fans, Gangrene fans, hear me out here. Imagine this. Devante Adams as your 1, Garrett Wilson as your 2, Mike Williams as your 3, and then you have Xavier Gibson or Jason Brownlee in there in the mix. That's a stable right there. That is a squad. So I think that would be sick if they pulled trigger on that. I think Devante Adams would be down for that. Don't know if the Raiders would take the trade proposition that I proposed, but just imagine that the sky would be the absolute limit if they got Devante Adams in that stable with the connection and chemistry that Rodgers and him have. That'd be phenomenal. Tell me what you think. Do you think that that's a fair price? Alan Lazard, a first and a third, or maybe 2 firsts in Lazard to the Raiders for Devante? Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think you'd even offer to get Devante, or do you like the squad that the Jets have now? Let me know. And for Packer fans, what do you think about Jordan Love? What do you think the contract should be? We could see that as early as tomorrow if it comes out. But let me know what you think in the comment section below.